Hey guys, this is my bullet journal setup for June. So this month I went with a crystals and other boho-ish doodles. Kind of just anything I felt like adding that I didn't really stick to a theme this month. As you can see, I already have some of the doodles sketched out. It took me a while to decide what I wanted to do, so that was done off camera. Here I'm using a Micron pen to go over the pencil. I just have some off-brand Micron, I'm not really sure what it is, but I like it, it gets the job done. Here I'm using a Tombow dual brush pen to write June out. I'll kind of shade the tops of the letters with the same exact pen, and then I'll blend it out using the colorless blender pen. Once I get the letters shaded how I like them, I go back in with the black Micron pen to add some dimension to the letters, and then I go over top of the thick downstrokes with a white gel pen. The ones I use in this video are the Jelly Roll pens. I really like them. They're super juicy and opaque, and they're my favorite ones. Here I'm shading in the crystals with the Tombow dual brush pen. I'm also going to be using the Crayola Super Tips and Arteza brush pens to fill in the crystals. Once I'm done coloring them in, you'll see I go back over top of some of the sections to make them darker, and then I also use the white gel pen over some of the sections to make them look shiny. So over on the next page, I make my brain dump. This page I use for random reminders, and usually I write ideas for next month's bullet journal. Along the side of the page, I'll write the dates of the month, and then I'll use it as an important date section if I need to, but I don't usually fill in this page much, but I still like to make it. Here I'm using the Micron to draw in these little terrariums. Houseplants are my favorite thing right now, so they keep popping up in my bullet journal no matter what the theme is. But they were super easy to draw. I just drew the outer shape and then filled it in with, right now I'm making little dots to make a string of pearls, and then I also have a little spider plant in there. But yeah, they're super easy to make. You just make little tiny shapes, and since they're small, they don't have to be perfect because no one will be looking at them that closely anyway. To color in the terrariums, I'm using some Crayola Super Tips, Tombows, and Papermate Flares. Although I don't use them as much on the terrariums in this example, the Crayolas are usually my favorite to color with because they're super cheap. You can get a pack of 50 or 100 for not very expensive at all. I got the pack of 50 for under $8, I think. So you have a ton of different options, and they're not a big deal to replace, so I don't feel bad using them to color in big sections, or if I'm blending a bunch of colors and the nibs might get ruined. I just don't feel bad about using them because they're easy to replace. So on the next page, I'll draw in my calendar. You can see I've gone in with pencil first to sketch it out, and then I go back over top with a micron and a ruler. I always start out with pencil because I've gone in before with just the marker and I've messed it all up, and then I have to cover the whole page up with something else like scrapbook paper or something, and it's just sort of a pain to do. So I always make sure I start out with a pencil, but those of you who can just go straight in with the marker, like, kudos to you. I just always end up messing it up when I do it like that, so it's just better to go in with a pencil first. So after I finish drawing the calendar, I go back in, of course, and add in the numbers in each square. The days of the week I'll add in at the top in that strip you see. I'll color that in with the Tombow marker. You'll see me doing that right now, and then I go back over with the micron to add in the days. I do like to have the calendar page each month, although I don't usually fill it in very much. If anything, I use my important dates page on the brain dump, the page before that. So I usually add doodles and other decorations to the actual calendar itself instead of around the outside. But even though I don't use it very much each month, I do include it every month just because it's a page that I like to draw, and then it's a nice overlook of the month. I can look at an actual calendar just in my bullet journal without having to pull out my phone or anything else. So there my camera died, but this is just my first weekly setup. Here I have a Polaroid of a peony that I took, and then I'm just adding in some washi tape and some other stickers or little things I have from scrapbooking to help decorate the page, because sometimes I get tired of doodling. The crystals weren't my favorite to draw, so I was kind of at this point regretting the theme that I had chosen, so you'll start to see that I deviate from the theme a little bit. Here, the bright blue brush pen that I'm using is a Marvy Uchida brush pen. I got them at Michael's. They can be kind of expensive, but I got them when they were on sale, so it wasn't that bad. But I think they're a really great brush pen to have too, and the colors are super pretty. So here you can see I did a lot of shading on the crystals. I layered a lot of colors to get the final effect, but at the end when I do the flip through, you'll see that on the previous page, which is the calendar, I hardly got any bleed through at all, if I got any. And these pages in this book are super smooth, so they don't fray your brush pens at all. I don't think they do anyway. So I think the $5 bullet journals from Michaels are a great option, especially for people who are just starting out with bullet journaling, not really sure if they'll be into it. $5 isn't a big deal to spend on a journal, so I think these are definitely a great option for people looking to get started. So on this page, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday are written with the Marvy Uchida brush pens. The colors are super pretty. They came out of the pastel pack. I really like these brush pens. The tips can be super bouncy and hard to manage at first. They take a little bit to get used to, but I still really recommend them if you're into brush lettering. Here I'm doing my third weekly spread, and you can see that I'm using the Crayola Super Tips again. So if you were to get two things to start bullet journaling, I would definitely recommend the $5 bullet journals from Michaels and a pack of the Crayola Super Tips, whether you get the 25 or the 20 pack or the 50 pack or the 100 pack. Any of them are worth it. They're all very decently priced, and you get a bunch of different pretty colors, and They can be used if you're starting out brush lettering or if you already know how to brush letter. They can obviously be used for brush lettering, and they can also be used for coloring stuff in and shading and everything. So I would definitely recommend them if you're just getting started bullet journaling, or if you have been bullet journaling and you haven't tried them, I definitely recommend them. Here I added this piece of cardstock that I wrote "Look how they shine for you" on it. The cardstock looked like it had little stars on it. They were just like white little specks. So I thought it'd be a cute addition to the page if I wrote that quote on it. The stamp I'm using here I got from a $2 bin at Michael's. Stamps are a quick way to add pictures to your pages if you don't feel like drawing or if you're just not very good at it. The crystals were kind of my extent of my capabilities of doodling. So hence why I was getting so tired of drawing them, because they took me forever and I was erasing a ton. But I like using things like washi tape and stickers or cardstock or stamps to fill the pages up so that I don't feel like I have to draw everything, because I do like my pages to be pretty full. Once I go back through and like write in what I did for that day, I fill up the corners of the pages with stickers or other pieces of washi tape to really fill in the pages. So using stamps in your bullet journal is great unless you forget to let the ink dry like I did. So I rubbed my arm over the ink and it smeared, so right now I'm going back in with the gel pen after it is dried to cover up some of the smear. So if you get yourself a nice white gel pen, you can use it to cover up your mistakes so no one will ever know they were there. Here I'm adding a little zebra succulent, and I'm going to use the white gel pen again to add in the white detailing, so you can see that white gel pens can be used for a lot of different things in your bullet journal, so I think they're a really useful tool to have. I didn't have one when I first started bullet journaling, but now that I have a couple in different sizes, I keep them with me all the time when I'm going to be bullet journaling. So that was my bullet journal setup for the first couple weeks of July. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys come back and watch more of my videos. I'm just starting out with these, so please be patient as I try to figure out the camera and the sound and everything. But please like and subscribe, and I'll be back soon. Thanks.